morning and welcome to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television. I am Kende Podun.
And I am Henry Igwebike.
Right, it's the start of a new day and we are so glad to have you on the show today. We'll kick off with today's newspaper review before diving into the main conversation of the day. Trust me, you don't want to miss a moment with us. You can join the conversation by dropping your comments, liking, and following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. So joining us to share the matters at hand is Barrister Evans Ufeli. He is a barrister and a public affairs analyst. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning to you, Barrister. I do not know the time of the day where you are, but for us here, we say good morning to you.
Oh, it's about 3 a.m. 3 a.m. in the morning. Good morning to you.
3 a.m. Wow. All right. Good morning. Thank you so very much for your time. And so, Barrister, I'd love us to start with the Guardian newspaper for today, just to let you in on things happening for us here in Nigeria. Yeah. Soludo has won. Finally, you know, we've discussed this countless time here, and now we have it. The Soludo triumphs in Anambra as ADC observers decry vote buy-in. And with the figures we have here, 422,000 for Soludo, APC 99,000, and the PDP 37,000. Yeah.
Okay, beneath that, we have Trump's comment threatens national unity, and NSCIA demands retraction. And
also we have Bakoba, how Nigeria can improve Naira value hedge volatility.
We have Anambra. Serap both party urge INEC to prosecute votes buyers.
All right, Barrister, I'd love us to start up with Anambra. I know I'd love to believe you would think it's expected that Soludo would take the day. But what is interesting here is the number of those who voted. We have a total of about 600,000 out of 2,700,000 of Anambra people that collected their PVC card. So do you think democracy has been served to Anambra people?
No. It's not been served, because from that calculation, it's only 60% that came out to vote, right?
Yes, less than 60% even.
Less than 60%,
about 40%
came out to vote. I won't think that turnout for a state is large. Look at the general election. The last general election in 2023 was 26% that came out nationwide. Okay, so there's voter apathy, no doubt, because of the way Nigeria has been governed. Governors are not performing, many of them, including Soludo. Soludo himself is not a performer. We've seen that. And he said it himself clearly. I wonder why you guys are surprised. He said it himself that I was going to buy votes now. You remember 2 weeks back? Yes. He introduced the Kalo election that if you vote for him, those regions will get some amount of money. Yeah. So, and when you say that under intense poverty, you already know where people will gravitate to. People will want to get that money. And as a result of that, they don't mind compromising their civic responsibilities in order for them to clinch on the promise. Okay, so that has played a role in itself. And for Sarah calling for, what they are calling for and the rest of that, it has always been associated with elections in Nigeria. Every election cycle, the same story will emerge after. You will hear vote buying. You will hear irregularities. You hear that some polling units, there were disruptions and the rest of that. So I do not think Anambra was going to be any different from the previous elections we've had, and even successive elections that are coming. There's no change of attitude. There's no consequences for wrongdoing. Our democracy is not strong enough. There are no reforms as we speak. Some person said that because we have a new INEC chairman, that's a reform. I disagree. It's not a reform. We're not a reform. I mean, someone just finished his tenure. Another person now came in. That's not a reform. So until we improve on our elections, nothing will really change. Those people who collected money now for voting, they have been settled. So they have no moral obligation now to call the governor to come and perform the dividend of democracy in their areas, having been given money to vote. So it's a pathetic situation. I don't know where else it's done in the world, even in African countries. You have to go and buy votes for you cannot win an election on your popularity. You cannot come out and say, this is what I have done in the past. And as a result of that, I'm campaigning that if you allow me the second time, I'm going to do further. You can't do all that one. You have to use money. That's an expression of failure.
Very true.
So speaking of vote buying, Barrister, how does vote buying affect Nigerians' democracy perception?
It affects now because your civic responsibility, allegiance, and mandate is supposed to be given on the basis of trust, not on the basis of purchase power. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not demand and supply. You turn election to a demand and supply chain, wherein people have to pay money, collect money before they vote you. It doesn't show popularity. If I have to collect money from you to support you, what it means is that you're not popular.
Very true.
You understand?
Yeah.
Democracy is supposed to be a game of popularity. Yes. It's supposed to be, people are supposed to look at your pedigree, look at what you have done, look at your contribution to society, and make up their mind that you are the right person to represent them. But when that is not the case, when you have to purchase it, you have to have a deep pocket to purchase it from them, then what other moral justification do they have to come and ask you for all those funds that Solodo gave up?
Yeah.
Were they his personal funds? Was it not public fund that he was spending? I mean, somebody will say I should come and prove it. I'm not going to prove anything because I know that it's public fund that is using. And not that. And if you look at it critically, you discover also that his opponent too bought vote. His opponent too bought vote, just that they couldn't buy at the volume that Solodo was buying.
Yeah.
And so that is the kind of democracy that we say we are proud of. And that is the kind of thing we do when we say sovereignty. Sovereignty, that is our sovereignty. When Trump talks, we say Nigeria is a sovereign state. Look at what you are using to form your sovereignty. So this whole thing is tiring.
All right, from that story, let's move straight to the Punch newspaper. PDP crisis, 3,000 delegates are set for high-stakes convention.
Okay, we have crude oil revenue plans by 43%.
And also still on Anambra, Soludo's Anambra win sparks a political storm.
We also have FG vows tighter security after UK flags northern state unsafe.
Regbe Shola backing can't save Adeleke. Coming from APC chieftains.
Yeah. Okay, we have 15 girls rescued from Ondo sex trafficking network.
All right, so let's go to a family feud for a bit here. Drugs, Regina Daniel Nwoko in fresh bitter showdown. Barrister, I would not have loved that we go into this because it's a soft story. But since it made the headlines on the Punch newspaper, and more so, the man under reference is representing your constituency and at the 10th Assembly. Let's speak about it for a bit, and let me have your say. We were off from what leadership should look like from Anambra, and you described how that we have really no leadership to some extent. But in this part, this is more of a moral appearance. What do you think the perception is for Nigerians on the person of Ned Nwoko, especially with this family feud that is really making the rounds in Nigeria across different social media platforms?
The man have been disgracing us, we that are from Delta North.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
I said, hello, can you hear me now?
All right, we're still trying to get the connection. All right.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, I said the man has been disgracing us. I mean, we from the Niger Delta, what do you call it now? Delta North area of Delta State. It's a big shame. I can't even face this man. I can't even face the situation. It's a very debilitating situation. This is a man that Nigerians don't even know his true background. You know, people just say he's rich, he's rich, he's rich. From a very poor home, was assisted by relatives and all that, went to school in England, came out, and now parading himself all over the place. See, the issue is the girl have said that the man, used to give her drugs or allow her to take drugs so that she can be wild for him and the rest of that. And right now, the girl is now addicted to that substance that the man that the man introduced to her. And then the man turned around and want to have her rehabilitated in the same light. What you love, the bearer is now overburdened with it, can't do without it. And now you're not talking about rehabilitation. And you're saying, you send that to rehab. They don't send people to rehab. They bundle people to rehab. You bundle nobody that is addicted to drugs that will walk into a rehab center and say, I'm addicted, I want to. They will use that time to take more drugs. People are bundled there. That's what they ought to have done to save them from whatever it is they've engulfed with. That's aside. The second part of it is that let the one as a lawmaker. Though when he married this girl, he wasn't a lawmaker, but that is not necessary. He married her at 17. He married her at 17. According to the Child Rights Act, anyone who marries anybody that's below the age of 18, is guilty of an offense called rape.
Does it apply to Muslims? Because he is a Muslim.
It applies to everybody. The Child Rights Act is domesticated in Delta State. The Child Rights Act is domesticated in Delta State. So whether Muslim or not, it applies. It is not the religion or the religious injunction that governs the conduct of citizens in the country. It is the law, the Constitution, the Child Rights Act, and other subsidiary legislations. So for once, it is actionable. One can pick up that case from there. It's actionable. That as a lawmaker, you shouldn't even be found around any child. She married a child. Okay? She married a child. So that's an offense itself. But the law will not enforce itself until somebody takes it off. Okay? So that is the situation. And to say that as old as he is, he's unable to curtail that family issue within the family, bringing out to the public and then pouring more fuel on it. The young girl too and the brother being stupid people. Brother went to next house to fight. You can imagine if you're having you and your husband is having problem, then your brother will go there to fight. Then you will now you will approve of that conduct. To what end? To fight who? To get what? At whose expense? So young people, very young people, God should give very young people wisdom. From both sides, I see fault from all sides of this whole matter. From the illegal marriage to the conduct of the girls' brothers to the very overwhelming failure of the senator himself, because he has lost touch with the fact that he is representing 9 local government areas. 9 local government areas. And these 9 local government areas is bigger than the whole of Bayelsa State. It's representing them, and this is what is giving us civil society, you know. So I find it very disturbing, to say the least.
But do you think this issue? Yes. Do you think this issue is big enough for the constituency to ask for a recall? Does it? Do you think it makes sense?
Yes. It's gross misconduct. Gross misconduct. It's sufficient for us to call for a recall on the basis of that marriage in the first place. I married her when she was 17. It's an offense. That itself is sufficient for a recall. Talk more of the crisis at hand and the way he's mismanaging the whole thing. It calls for serious concern. There's a group already that have instituted a notice for recall. Okay, after I did a video on countermeasures, when I talk about the fact that it should be recalled, there's a group that have filed a notice before the National Assembly right now, and they're gathering signature as we speak. Okay? So I think it should be recalled, even though I know the recall process in Nigeria is very tedious. Most times it fails at the instance of the applicants. But how be it that it have a propensity to always fail does not mean people should not make that application to have him recalled.
All right.
Okay, I would really love us to bring the story down to moral influence, right? So, Barrister, how does public exposure of celebrities or of a celebrity disputes affect societal values?
It does, because celebrities are influential people. A lot of people look up to them. Yeah. I have seen people crying online because of Regina Daniels. People that don't have any blood relationship with her. But these are people that have come to love her and have come to identify with her, okay? So whatever affects her seems to affect them. You understand? So that is why corporate entities and organizations use celebrities for adverts. The reason they do that is because of their large following. Whatever they use, their followers are likely to use it.
Yes.
I said this before, that I use this Puma wallet that I bought in the US. This Puma, just because of the video. Because the video is the brand ambassador of Puma. That's just why. There's no other reason I should be using Puma. Okay, because I'm a very strong fan of the video. So I use Puma. It just that emotional attachment. Okay, a lot of people will get worried about this girl. Some people will go without food because of her. She doesn't even know them. You understand? And some people will stop at nothing to fight, curse anybody that is against her. You see that happen, okay? That like the very dark man, for example, if you say some things about him online, that whole day you may not come out from it because of the bully that will come after it from the Rattle movement gangs and all that. So that is how it is. Influence are high. People sniff influence and they are high on it. And so that is society we are talking about. So it affects society in ways that you may not even imagine. She has huge following from her adventure from Nollywood, to where she is today. And there are people who say it's a lie that she's not taking any drugs before now. It was when she admitted it, I think 2 days ago, that I do drugs fine, and so that was when people even came to that realization, that which was also, a very weak way to address the issue. Having denied it halfway, you admit it halfway. So because she's not also using lawyers, she just set up ring light and start to talk. And most of those things she's saying, a lawyer will listen and will cringe. Yeah, why are you saying this one? You understand? She's too young for what is going on. She's too young for what is going on. I don't think she will have the right kind of intellectual support around her. She's pandering to emotions, and that's not going to save her at all. When you're in this kind of crisis, don't talk much, talk less. Because you think that society and the people on social media are all for you. They're all supporting. That's not the truth. It's only your fans. And some of them will be pulling out by your misconduct. So I blame Ned Nwoko in all this. That's that. I blame him in all this because he should have been able to conceal this issue within his household. Conceal the issue within his household and settle it in a way that as a mature person will do. You can imagine him, as old as he is, he's posting videos. You can imagine, old man will post videos, say, see what my wife, he destroyed Ferrari, he destroyed window, he destroyed this. Who are you telling? You are telling social media. So you see that the man himself is not also, I don't even think he's wise enough. Okay, he's wise enough to be a father, let alone a senator.
All right. One would wonder where NDLEA is at this point, because
Yeah.
this is enough information for the NDLEA to kick
kick
in and equally do their investigation to know how they can, nip this in the bud. Because, like you rightly said, these are influential people, and if Regina Daniel admits that she takes drugs, imagine what that would do to her millions of fans. And I think NDLEA should do something. But do you think
Admission of drugs. Admission of drugs does not mean the NDLA have a case.
really?
No, Section 19 of the NDLA Act talks about possession.
Okay.
You must be caught with it.
Oh, okay.
So if I come online and say I use drugs, all the NDLA should do is to investigate me and ensure they catch me with it.
Oh.
They cannot just come and bundle me. I say, because I use drugs. They must show evidence. Well, where is the evidence that I use drugs? Okay, so if they want to do whatever they want to do, she must be caught with it. The possession is required. That she was caught with so kilogram of whatever cannabis, whatever cocaine, heroin, whatsoever. It must be psychotropic substances. Any substance that is psychotropic and narcotic drugs. Those are the ones that are flagged by the Nigerian government, and people should not use them.
All right, Barrister, just before we run out of on this particular segment, let's just do one more story on the Daily Trust newspaper. A genocide claim. Federal government silent on Amopiton's legal brief. We are not aware, and that's from the Senate. Of course, the latest that we have is many years ago, Amopiton, who is current INEC chairman, had written something on the genocide issue and had claimed that really the genocide is on Christians by the Muslims. And right now he is in a pivotal place in our nation, and all of that is being recalled back. Do you think we should hold him for something he has said in the past and judge him by that? Do you think it makes sense?
Well, is it a lie that there's genocide? Because the way the Nigerian government is going about it, see, the American government says Muslims are killing, Islamic sects are killing Christians. Okay? That's what the Americans said. Now, whether they are killing Christians or the Christians are killing Muslims or whoever is killing, as long as there's killing, it's genocide. So I don't think Amopiton is wrong to have written anything in the past or have said anything in the past to the effect that this is genocide. Genocide is genocide. It doesn't matter whether there's religious coloration or not. Eh? And for people that are saying sovereignty, you hold on to sovereignty until your entire citizens are wiped out. What is the essence of sovereignty if people are going to be killed on a daily basis? Who does sovereignty help? Does sovereignty have the capacity to erase insurgency? It doesn't. You understand? It doesn't. So it is in the interest of the government to go and ensure that it deals with the issue under reference. That for it to keep living in denial, yes, you go and deal with the issue. There's no point living in denial all through the process. That is what is required.
All right, thank you so very much, Barrister. Just to let you know, people, that Barrister will still be here to take us on our main conversation. That is when we return. Nigeria's food import bill jumps 11.6% as hunger worsens. In the beat, it's still Enterprise Morning. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thank you so very much for hanging in. This is Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our main conversation for today. Nigeria's expenditure on food imports rose to $2.39 billion between April of 2024 and March of 2025, marking an 11.6% increase from the $2.14 billion spent in the previous year. According to data from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, the rise amounting to an additional $248.37 million underscores the country's continued reliance on foreign food supplies, despite government's interventions aimed at boosting local production and achieving food self-sufficiency.
Very true. Now, the surge in food import spending comes amid worsening food insecurity and malnutrition, particularly in the northern states. In a report by the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, revealed that the Bay states, Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe, have been experiencing a deepening nutrition emergency since mid-2024.
Let's get talking. We still have with us Barrister Vansufeli. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for being there.
So let me get the question, please.
Yes. So the question is this: what do you think about food import? Remember, sometimes back when we had you right here in our studios, we were speaking to the issue of food prices coming down a little bit, and people thought it was because of it was the season for some of those food to come down. But now it's becoming very glaring that the reason for the food price reduction was as a result of major import into Nigeria from outside of the country. What's your take on this, really, and what you think it is doing to food sufficiency in Nigeria?
Well, there's a need to have the price of food crashed. Okay, I know some would say no, it does not favor our local farmers. Okay, but what's the essence of having this whole thing skyrocketed to the point where it's not everybody that are farmers in the country? As much as the farmers have a window, they have customers, they have a place to sell, and so price was so high at that time. The people also need to be able to have enough resources to meet the price of things. Okay. It needs to do that. And the reason from 2003, before 2003, because we talk about a year before, this one we're talking about now is 2024, March 2024 to is it May 2025. Remember that the reason you have a low this turnout before is because the 2023, we're just coming out from the Buhari's shutdown of the borders. Yeah. Okay. Wearing rice and the rest of that. We focus on locally produced rice, which in itself got us to a point. Now the borders are open. There is importation going on. Okay. So we can see the difference. At that time, the prices of food was so high during the Buhari's time when he shut down the border. When the rice, it said that we said is going to be cheap because we're not eating locally made rice and all that, because there's no need of import duty on them, so it will be cheap. It was not cheap. It was not cheap. We don't know how the price kept rising, even when it was not transported from any country to our country. So it now look like if you have to import from outside, it's even going to be cheaper at the end of the day. It beats the logic of demand and supply. It beats the logic of economics. That when people import from afar, it's not cheaper than when they get it locally. I mean, when the cost of transportation is taken off, it's higher than when it is exported with transport from a far distance. So how do you rationalize that economics? You understand? How do you rationalize it? So for me, I think prices should come down. It will affect farmers, I know, but we're talking about the majority of people, the majority. Farmers are minority. How be it that their business should also thrive? I'm not saying their business should not thrive. Okay, their businesses should thrive, but at the same time, I mean, people cannot all just remain in hunger just because we have farmers whom we must all buy from. And the farmers themselves also do not have the price. Price is everything. Price is just because of 2 naira, 3 naira, you see some people going to a different place to buy something. You understand? So price is very influential.
Very influential, okay.
But if we must have deflation in Nigeria, really, which you, of course, argue is good because of our large population. At the same time, do you think in the long run this might be sustainable for us as a country? Remember, we're a country of over 200 million people. We can't just keep depending on importation. All right, I think we lost a barrister there, and I hope that we would get him back due to communication issues there. You know, barrister was speaking to the issue of, you know, looking at our population, and we can't continue to depend on our local farmers. So it's okay for us to make imports, you know, from different parts of the world. But the more we make imports, the more we are telling our farmers, there's no need for you to farm again. So how do we balance, you know, such economic... I think we are beginning to break Guinness Book of Records, you know, redefining our own type of economics. I do not understand any longer.
Before, okay, thanks for that. Before Barrister went over, there was a particular question I wanted to ask him. Because he made mention of, you know, because you were like, okay, does he feel that, okay, maybe when the price come down, it's still the best for consumption, food consumption for Nigerians? So I feel farmers, in fact, we should even give credit to them because they are doing a whole lot, you know. Mr. Henry, I can imagine you, you know, taking your hoe and cutlass.
Yeah, I can't, my back would ache for 2 years.
So number one, we should, you know, I think we should give them this credit. And number two, I don't, for importing food over there, you know, see, gone are the days when we eat fresh food. You know that, okay, this food you are eating, you know that it's really fresh.
Fresh from the farm.
Fresh from the farm, right? Yes. But right now, we've seen a situation whereby you can actually even differentiate this fresh food from this, you know, fresh food, they are still organic food. You could differentiate it from food that is not fresh, like even from the bread. You know, when you eat fresh bread, it's actually different from the bread you eat, you know, that spent time in the bakery for like 2 days or 3 days, you understand? So what I'm trying to say, I feel we as Nigerians now, I think we should even do more of agriculture. We should go into this food farming. In a way, we're even assisting the farmers. And then I think I've even lost count. But then I feel importing food, we should appreciate more of our own food because our food is very, very healthy. And depending on other countries for their own food, it's kind of giving us this this vibe of we're not really doing too much, right? We're not really giving in our agricultural sector. You understand? So I think that's my take.
All right. So we understand the barrister is back. Barrister, thank you so very much. We sincerely apologize for that lost in communication. Yes. So, Barrister, of course, I asked the question, but I'd love to do a follow-up to that. So if it's possible, you answer both together. You are someone that speaks so much against GMO-produced food. Yeah. You are strongly kick against it. And let's be honest to ourselves. A majority of the food that we import, most of them are GMO-produced. So don't you think it's good for us to maybe work on food sufficiency in Nigeria, just like Kenya said, we eat it fresh from the farm and depend on that, and rather than having it cheap, at the same time, it's GMO infested.
Yes, you see, you cannot just work on locally produced food only in isolation. You have to also work on price control. You remember that the federal government, when it shut the border down, it talked about price control. In fact, there's a price control act. We have a price control act, a law in Nigeria that was referred to that time. You see, because when the borders were shut down, we're eating our local rice and all that, the prices went up.
Yeah.
We thought since there's no import duty on it, and since it's just from the farm directly to the market, that we have cut off all the middlemen, and we have cut off all the encumbrances that will naturally make price go higher. Only for us to stay on that issue, that story for few years, and discover that the price of rice became 120,000 per bag. Yes. Yeah, 100,000 per bag and the rest of that. It was so high. So I was saying then that is this analogy? I did not found the laws of economics upside down. Yeah, because the slimmer the involvement of middlemen, okay, the cheaper price should be. Okay, so I agree that we should produce locally and eat locally. I agree, because we have arable land. Okay, we have all it takes. But remember, we don't have the industrial machines to have that done. Even the one the federal government bought, they did not distribute it. This food we are talking about, so that is feeding 200 million people, is produced through subsistence agriculture. Perhaps that's why the price is high. Perhaps because if you use hand to peel melon, use your hand to peel melon, and use machine to peel melon, when you get to the market, they will tell you that this one is hand peeled, the price is different. This one is machine peeled, the price is different. The one that is hand peeled is higher. You know why it's higher? Because the labor that went into it is more than the labor that went into the machine peel. So the food, all the food you see in Nigeria at the time they shut down the border, were all handmade food. None of them, you don't know industrialization. People use their hand to till the earth. People planted manually. In fact, some of them have to live in the farm to chase birds and rabbits away from taking those. They grew these crops practically standing in the farm, in the rain, in the sun, in everything. So when they harvest it, you don't expect them now to bring the price to zero level just because Nigerians have to survive. How about the labor that went into it? How about all that went into it? So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that let's produce locally and let the federal government invest in farmers. It should mobilize farmers with tractors and machines. All they need, fertilizer, all they need. Okay? If you give them all they need and they use machine and they grow more, they will sell it cheap. The price will crash because the quantum, the product will be high. And then the federal government should produce good seedlings. Okay, good seedlings. Some of the seedlings we are using till today are seedlings that are of ancient species that cannot give the kind of yield per hectare than some kind of seedlings. So it's a whole value chain. The central bank have been, sponsoring agriculture from the time of Emefiele till now, giving grants, producing seedlings. A lot of people have said it's not part of their function, but hey, they are doing it. So let the federal government come up with a proper program. The Ministry of Agriculture, who is the Minister of Agriculture, for Christ's sake? Where is the blueprint for food production? And the farmers are aware of that blueprint. Have they keyed into it? Where are we going? What tons, how many tons of grain are we expecting in every season, every farming season or farm cycle? How many tons of grain, let's say rice, how many tons are we expecting? granite, wheat, corn, all of them. What is the projection, agriculturally speaking, in the country? You cannot have a progression because you don't have a program for the farmers. They have no tractor. Some of them will have to farm through land tenure system. They have to rent the land. They are tenant on the land they are farming. So they pay for that, then manually produce, and you want price to crash. The price will not crash. The labor that is going into that production is too much for you to come cheap.
Okay, let's bring it to, let's explore on practical ways. So, Barrister, how can Nigeria realistically achieve food self-sufficiency in the next decade?
In the next 10 years, you mean? So,
yes.
This is it. Let's have a plan. Let's have a blueprint for food sufficiency. We did it before. Even though the one that they did under Adamawa failed, that's the SAP, Structural Adjustment Program. That one failed. But we had programs, agricultural programs in the past that did wonders. Do you know that in the First Republic, it was agriculture that we used to run the entire economy during the First Republic? Do you know that in 1946, we had a TV station in Ibadan that was founded by Awolowo. And that TV station, we had it with cocoa production in Ibadan. And that TV station, we had a TV station before France. And it was from agriculture, we made the money, cocoa. Okay? So we had developed very fast, okay, in the 40s, in the 50s, even before we had independence in the 60s, using just agricultural produce. We had granite pyramid in the north, okay? We had cocoa in the west, in the Midwestern region, we had timber, okay? We had all over, in the south, we had, fish production. Because oil had been discovered, but it has not become popular. Okay, so agriculture was the mainstay. In all those times, the economy was agrarian and we're exporting in large quantity, meaning that subsistently, we're feeding ourselves and we're exporting in large quantity. A lot of people will say, okay, our population was so small, then I agree. What we're consuming within is not as much as what we're consuming now. I agree. But as our population increased, what have we put in place to retain food sufficiency? We've not put any major program in place to retain food sufficiency. We're just growing our population without. So that's why there's food shortage at some point. We have to start to import. So you see that the reverse is now the case. Before we used to export it. We lost that power to export it now. We're now importing. You understand me? You can imagine the day I bought tangerine that was imported. I looked at it, I said tangerine. Tangerine that we used to lick and be using to play ball. We will pluck it on the ground, pluck it. We'll get tired, then we'll use the remaining one to be stoning one another. Yes. If you go to Jos, the mangoes in Jos during the season, cannot be, even if all the household come out every day to eat mango every day, for the next 1 year, they cannot exhaust it. The fruit in Benue, the food production in Benue can feed the whole of Nigeria and the whole of Africa. But if they don't have the right tools, they are being chased by Boko Haram, they are being chased by herdsmen. In fact, everything is happening to them. In Yellow you saw what happened in Yellow Somebody's rice storage. He said the quantum of rice there cost 27 million thereabout was set ablaze. Yeah? Every household have what we call storage, yam barns. Have you seen yam barns again? These yam barns I'm telling you about were yams that were produced manually. There's no atom of from tilling the soil to planting it to through the season to digging to packing to the rafter and the plank and everything you used to have the barn. 100% manual. That's what I'm telling you. So for now, government, not only that government could not sustain an agricultural model that will make food sufficiency, it could not also address insecurity. It couldn't address insecurity. In the mix of insecurity, you cannot have yam barn, you cannot have rice storage, you cannot have millet stored, what do you call it? All the beans and the rest of, I grew up in the north, so when you talk about food, it's not, you understand? You see Kaduna. Kaduna is where I cut my teeth, because that's where I went to primary school. Kaduna alone can feed the whole country. Ask anybody from the north. Kaduna alone supply sweet potatoes that the whole of southern Nigeria will consume. The tomatoes and the rest of that, that's what they call Fadama farming in that area. Jos is the same thing. The same thing in Jos. You come down to, in fact, Borno, high-scale production, high-scale. But these persons who are doing these things now in Jos, in Kaduna, Borno, they are all displaced. All of them are in the IDPs now. Many have been killed. The ones that are younger they've all run to the southern part of the country to do Okada. All of them are doing Okada now. So how are you going to sustain food sufficiency when the real farmers are not doing Okada? Many of them have been killed. The remaining ones are in the IDP camps. So where are you going to get food sufficiency from? The later he says sovereignty. Yeah? So this thing is, I'm tired of this analysis.
Don't be tired, Barrister, because we need it to hopefully fix our country.
Yeah.
And lots of people would say, how much can we save our local farmers, especially at this time? Barrister,
there must be food insecurity, there must be food shortage, and there must be importation, as long as you are not managing your internal issues affairs well.
Very, 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 very well. But Barrister, my last question just before we let you go is this. Do you think efficient use of branding and PR might save our remaining local subsistent farmers? You gave a very sweet example of the melon, the hand-peeled and machine-peeled. And funnily, when you tell a customer the difference, most of the time, 9 in 10, they go for the hand-peeled, despite how expensive it is. In the US, I equally understand that when you go to grocery shopping, there are areas for organic food and areas for mass-produced foods. And people usually go for the organic food that's even more expensive. So do you think the use of efficient PR and branding, like in the case of the melon, can do justice to saving our remaining subsistent farmers who are doing the hard work of providing fresh food, organic fresh food for our nutritional value?
Yes, I think so. For me now, I talk about the day I bought tangerine, the one that is GMO, the one imported. I talk about the fact that even though the reason I bought it was because it was not put side by side with the organic one, I would have bought the organic one. Okay, so people will want to spend more. I mean, with PR and proper PR and explanation to the public, we can do as much as possible to distinguish them and let the public know with proper branding and the rest of that. But you know, that one is one level. That one is one level. Another level is that when you don't have sufficiencies, anything you see, you will buy. It's what you see, you will buy. Whether it is hand peel or machine peel, or yes, because there's shortage. And then prices are high and the rest of that. So if we educate ourselves enough, I mean, the public will come to know that there are varieties in these things. You have organic, you have GMO and the rest of that. But the most important thing is that where farmers who are supposed to produce the organic ones cannot step into their farms, and then even when they find their ways into their farms, they have to till the soil manually. They have to use either fire or whatsoever to burn the bush, plant, and stand in the farm to chase birds away. Or sometimes use some artificial to chase birds away and grow it. You don't expect the price will not fall, price will be high. So the answer, the solution to the problem is let the government come up with the social investment program tied to agriculture. It's not difficult. We can send delegates to Egypt and send delegates to Israel. Israel, Egypt are two countries that have turned agriculture into a very serious world-class business. And these are areas that it hardly rains. They use irrigation farming to produce so much so that they export to the other parts of the Middle East, where it doesn't rain at all, okay, or where it rains once in a year or twice in a year. There are places where it rains once in a year, twice in a year, but they farm there. They won't produce more than people who have rainy season 6 months, dry season 6 months, all year round. So, but they use irrigation farming, and they have developed a lot of technology around farming. Some of them do soilless farming. Some of them are involved in manure farming, and there are a variety of farming. Okay? So we should be able to have a program. The government of those countries came up with a program. We cannot be doing agriculture the way we are doing it in the 1940, 1720. We are still doing it the same way today and want to have food sufficiency when your population have increased beyond what it used to be. At those times when you had the food sufficiency, your population is growing by geometric progression. And your economy is growing by arithmetic progression. So there's a conflict. And that's why a lot of people are kidnappers now. Some people are getting unemployment. Because even when you say you're unemployed, you want to go into farming, you have to do it the hard way. And nobody wants to do those things the hard way. Because there are technologies that can handle them properly. So the bottom line is that the federal government should come up with a policy. It must come up with a policy that will drive agriculture. And when that happens, you will see that importation of food will naturally die. We don't need those GMOs if we go into massive scale. There was a time the Lagos State and is it Yobe or Yobe collaborated and produced rice. In 2019 or 2018.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
For that period, you see the price of rice came very low in Lagos because of that collaboration. So why can't state have further collaboration? Lagos built the largest rice mill somewhere in Ikorodu. I think that rice mill is still there. So, but where's the collaboration now after those governors left office? We need to collaborate more. States need to collaborate more to produce. That is the only way we can do away with this importation, because sometimes even our own locally produced, most times our own locally produced goods taste better than these ones we're importing.
Very well. All right, we have to leave it at this point. Sadly, even as journalists, we do not know, in sincerity, we do not know who the Minister of Agriculture is, because he is not in any way, around the news, to talk about the things he does and all that and whatnot. But of course, that is the problem that we have. There's a land mass of Niger State alone. It's about 76,363 kilometers per square, followed by Borno, Taraba, Kaduna, Bauchi, Yobe. You could imagine that, and what other nations would do with that if they had the opportunity. But we have it. Unfortunately, we can't use it. Thank you so very much, Barrister. I truly do appreciate you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, that's just about the time we have for today. We'd love to say thank you so graciously for making this a date with us. Please do well to